Sanders can make all of it irrelevant. All of it, including where he was drafted, including being drafted in the 5th round. I get it, he won't get the contract, but he can erase all of this with a great performance in this game. And I get it. People are saying, that's a lot to ask.
It is a lot to ask.
Hold up. I mean, this is what the NFL is about. You have to grab a hold of your opportunities. Tom Brady, I get it. He's the GOAT. But he had one chance. Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. He goes in there, and they just start running off wins. He had one shot. And Brock Purdy, I'm not even trying to start a Purdy thing. Purdy had one chance. Like, he was Mr. Irrelevant. He's thrown in against legitimate NFL teams in the regular season and hasn't played with the ones, right? All of that. And so Shedeur, I get it. Well, I don't know if the ones, how much they'll even play.
They said very little.
Yeah, so, but, he hasn't had those reps. But this is what it's about. And I'll give him this. Look, because of his last name, he's had pressure on him his whole life because your dad was a superstar athlete. So everybody thinks, are you going to be that? Can you live up to that? His first game at Colorado, remember, they're playing TCU coming off TCU being in the national championship game. And he throws for 510 yards. So I think he's up to the task of meeting the moment, but he's got to meet it because if he does, this whole thing takes a giant turn.
But what he's not used to and that he would be dealing with if he were the Browns' starting quarterback in the regular season, but to a far greater extent this Friday is he's not used to, oh, your DBs are way better than my receivers. And with Judy and the other top Browns receivers not expected to play, you know what I mean? They already, after Judy, are very thin there to begin with. And the Panthers are expected to play their starters in the beginning defensively. Now, J.C. Horn was in a car accident today. He tweeted he's okay. But, he usually has, at Jackson State, I went and saw him, and it was him and Travis against, who were they playing? It was Southern Classic. I forget. But regardless, and it was like, oh, yeah, those guys are just in a different world than the opponents. And even at Colorado, while a lot of the guys on his team were not as good as the guys they were facing, his receivers pretty dope. It was Travis and Jimmy Horn, and so he had real more than a fighting chance there. But I agree with you, Brew, in that it's not exactly fair, but it is kind of the best he could have hoped for.
Yeah. Listen, I think we need to just take a chill pill. We just need to take a beat for like just a half a second here, okay? Because here's what's not fair. So much of this situation is really 100% manufactured. It's so perfect that Trey Lance got to play with the Chargers and was very successful. And the year before that, he was with the Cowboys, and his preseason performance was not good at all. And yet he still found himself have a backup role for Justin Herbert, and Harbaugh wanted him, right? I mean, that counts for something. To think that now, if he plays well, or poorly for that matter, in a preseason game on Friday, that now somehow is just, it means the world. In the football world, it shouldn't. In the narrative world, it will. If he plays great, which at the end of the day means so little, ask any ex or current NFL player. The current players probably won't say it, but ex will say, anyone who's retired would say, like, preseason's like nothing, man. Like, those games, it's like, you're not even, it's not like, well, they're still kind of NFL. Like, they're like, no, man. Like, it's not even close to football, okay? So it's really has to be put into context. If you ball out, it can absolutely be something. If you play great, you have a lot of success. But it really has to be put into context, right? Are you just throwing to wide open receivers? Like, are you just, like, that's why it's like I never care about the stats for a preseason game. I care about what does it look like. right? How comfortable are you in the pocket? Are you leaving early? What does your footwork look like? Bill Belichick, he saw Caleb Williams have like a great throw and a great play. And he was like, I didn't like that play. He left the pocket way too soon. And everyone was like, oh, Bill's being dumb. Oh, he's just a hater. What does he know? And he was like, absolutely right. He was 100% right. He's like, Caleb Williams has a lot of work ahead of him. And people were like, nah, you're just a hater. You're dated. You don't know what you're talking about. And he was right. So it's like, it's not just about the stats. It's not just about big highlight plays. You got to really understand, like, what are you looking at? What do you see? And on the flip side, in a lot of ways, in a weird way, I feel like it's a little bit easier to look at it when someone plays poorly, because it's just like, if you are destined to be a great quarterback, even in a preseason game, first off, one, you should look pretty comfortable. Even if your O-line or is weak because you have a bunch of people who are not even going to make the team and not a lot of good receivers, it's like you would still be making the right plays. You would still be throwing the ball away, whatever it may be, making the proper reads. Which is, again, you could stats mean nothing to me, because you could have a great game and go 2 for 10 and 2 sacks, but I'm just like, that was smart. He held onto the ball. He did what he needed to do. He didn't try to do too much in that moment. He didn't scramble too far back and take now a 15-yard sack. Instead, he just took a 3-yard sack. There was, they just got to him right away. Nothing he could do. He was composed. Like, you could be composed while failing. So, but unfortunately, Shedeur is not going to get any nuance on Friday. We know that. He hasn't had nuance throughout this entire process. So if he plays great, people will say, if he just plays well, if he just plays pretty good, put it this way, if he plays like Trey Lance played, which was actually great, people will say, he's the starter, he's the best, he should have gone #1 overall, and no one really believes that about Trey Lance. Nobody. And think about what Trey Lance did the year before. An epic failure. And Jerry Jones was trying to be like, Trey Lance is actually pretty good. He's going to surprise a lot of people. To the point where they're like, we don't want him. And they're like, nah, never mind. He's not good. So it's just like, and yet still the same quarterback. Obviously, you can say that there's development and whatnot. But there's, at this point for Shedeur, year one, not even year one, there'll be plenty of room to grow. So like, even if he struggles, even if he fails, it doesn't mean that it's just like this, see, I told you. I told you he's not good enough. And if he plays well, it's not, I told you he was good enough. It's too singular. Now, it is an opportunity, obviously. It absolutely is an opportunity for Shedeur Sanders. And playing well goes an incredibly long way. To keep referring back to Trey Lance, there are a lot of people that saw that and they're like, Trey Lance looked pretty good. That's pretty interesting. Like, okay, I see a little something there. Like that. Maybe the 49ers made a mistake. Maybe the Cowboys made a mistake. Maybe he just needed a little bit of development. He never really got a chance. I mean, in hindsight, he didn't really play that much with the 49ers. Like, what did he have? Like 2 games, and then Brock Purdy took over, so there was like really no opportunity for him, and blah. It's like, and blah 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 blah. You start to kind of like talk yourself into it. But with Shedeur Sanders, you play well, it'll just erupt, and you're gonna get the pressure from the media, the fans, maybe players, depends, coaching staff, etc., etc. So I'm excited to watch this game on Friday, but I fear no matter what happens, it's going to be taken to the utmost extreme. If he plays poorly, it's going to be like, see, told you he wasn't good enough. Now, to be fair, there is absolutely a situation where if he plays poorly, it's like, see, he is, and like that's why he was drafted where he was drafted. But it depends on how he how he achieves poor play. And there's a situation where he plays really well or puts up great numbers, and it's like, that wasn't really that, it wasn't really that impressive. Or you have to put it in context. And there's a situation where he plays really well, and you're like, that was a great game. I know it was preseason, but he looked comfortable. He looked loose. He was making the right throws. He checked down when he needed to check down. He took risks when he needed to take risks. He manipulated the pocket. He got rid of the ball. Like he was smart. Like so it's just honestly, like as unpopular of takes like this are, but it's the reality. It's like anything can happen on Friday. But I'm confident that just everything is going to be so insanely magnified, which is what makes it ultimately entertaining. I mean, it is. Like, it's going to be entertaining to watch J.J. McCarthy because there's so much energy behind him. And obviously, it's going to be awesome to see Shedeur Sanders. So much, like, typically, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I feel like preseason games for everyone else really doesn't matter except for, these first-year starting quarterbacks, whether they're rookies or, like in J.J.'s situation, that there's a lot more energy behind them. But at the same time, it's just like we know what's more at stake for a preseason game. A game from Cam Ward or for Shedeur. We know that answer, obviously. But yeah, it's unfortunately like what Brew is kind of mapping out here and laying out here, and Nick, where it's just like it's not fair, but like he could erase everything, and you start like evoking Tom Brady and whatnot. And again, like Brock Purdy had the opportunity like in the regular season. Like there was a huge difference there. It was the regular season, and he was taking over a team that had like gone to the Super Bowl a couple years prior and was on a stacked team. So like no one's going to be like making any type of excuses for Brock Purdy. It was like, this is a great team, great coaching staff. If you can't win here, then you can't win anywhere. Right? And so like and like he had to step up. He had to prove his worth, and he did, and the rest is history. No doubt about it. But let's not pretend that's even remotely the situation for Shedeur Sanders right now, because it's obviously not playing with the Cleveland Browns in a preseason game with reportedly like no starters, no equal offensive weapons. So it's but again, in typical Shedeur Sanders fashion, it's just the volume is going to be cranked up to the absolute maximum. But it'll be fun to discuss. I'll admit that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Shedeur Sanders starting on Friday with the Cleveland Browns? What do you think's at stake? Do you agree with Brew and Nick that he could essentially erase all that doubt, or this is like a real opportunity that if he succeeds, it's just like, all right, let's get after it? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.